Welcome to It Doesn't Take a Genius.
Ramsey!
Marshall, look at us back together again. We've had some solo episodes. We did one together, then another solo episode, but here we are, ready to talk about customer experience.
Ooh, customer experience. I've been the customer and I've experienced some stuff.
Uh,
So I'm all in.
I mean, we all do this all day long, don't we? I mean, we're constantly customers of something. We're experiencing some brand, and we're going to talk about that in a future episode, a little more about Cracker Barrel and the experience of the brand. But I wanted this is sort of a follow up to the solo episode that I did about uh, Ando Sushi, the greatest sushi restaurant in the entire world. I think you can attest to that as well.
Let's let's just pause for a second and you know just think about how awesome that place is. Oh, it's so good.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. So, if you recall that episode, basically, an employee walks by and says, "I knew you were going to order that dessert." And we looked at each other and I was like, how did you know that? And she said, "Well, remember you told me a story about how your mom served you rice for breakfast when you were younger." I was like, "I told her that story like last year."
Yep.
And I found myself just it bubbled up within me. I looked at you and said, "I love coming here." I used the L word. And
Oh yeah.
it's just that I mean, she if you want to put it really, mathematically, she increased my loyalty, right? I am now a retained customer even more than I was before. And my point is, it cost her $0, right?
Oh
Like this
yeah.
was nothing. This was 10 seconds.
Yeah, you literally made an entire video testimonial
Yeah,
and
yeah,
posted it online for the world to see.
100%.
I
100%.
mean, that's all in, man.
That's pretty much a truly loyal customer, and I'm a fan, and I'm a raving fan. I guess you could say. But I was thinking about that and how cheap it was, and she didn't do it. It wasn't like she was manipulating me or something. It just bubbled up from her too, right?
Right.
Because she loves what she does, I think. But I just started thinking about the really affordable ways to build sort of a brand building, a loyalty building customer experience. And I had an example from a car dealership I used to work with that I wanted to share. So that's what we're here to do.
Oh, it's story time.
It's story.
Pull up a chair, boys and girls, both of you.
So, and I'll, that's right. Speaking of our brand, so this is the story, and I'll even mention the dealership by name. It's Moses Auto Group in West Virginia. Phenomenal organization, great people. The particular location I was at, the campus was about a mile long because it's West Virginia, right? These narrow roads and narrow pieces of real estate to build on along the mountain. So this location was Ford, Lincoln, BMW, Fiat. Not a combo seen anywhere else in America, I'm pretty sure, because Fiat had to be bundled with, their Chrysler Dodge stores at the time. But this was an
So you have
exception,
the Allied and Axis powers
100%.
all in the same dealership. Yeah,
Don't
that's
think I didn't think that several times. Thank
oh
you
yeah.
for, yeah,
Testimonial to world peace right there.
exactly right. So you end up working with all the people in the store because they all cross sell and they're all working with each other and again just great people. And this is years ago. They were a good client, and years ago they decided that they wanted to do some things that would really help customers see that it was special and different at Moses. And one of the things they did was it was just so blanket that you think there's no way that worked. But they had an agreement on the sales floor. We will not let a customer touch a doorknob. That was the rule, and they kind of made a game of it.
Hmm.
Run to get the door, make sure nobody gets that. Let that customer doesn't touch a doorknob as they're coming in, going out, going to the other parts of the dealership. And so they started being really serious about that. And making it fun, just kind of a game. And kind of a magical thing happened, which was suddenly customers felt very attended to. I know it's blowing your mind. I know it's blowing your mind, but that's what they did is just opening doors and customers noticed, right? So then they sort of said, okay, let's take it to the next level. How could we make our sales delivery special? So the same team that I'm talking about, they had a sales manager named Jamie. Jamie, if you're listening, God bless you, love you, miss you. Jamie could talk to a barn door. I mean, Jamie just had the ability to talk to anybody. And so they basically made sure that he got introduced to every person waiting for delivery or, about to say yes to a vehicle. And he would find out something. There's always something you could find out, right? And he would take that back to the team and they would try to do something clever at delivery to make use of that. And Megan, if you're listening, shout out to you as well. Was there? I guess GSM was her role at the time, and she was really wanting this to, like let's have a kit of things that we could do, and and they just started doing things, but none of it cost any money. I mean, so I'll give you three quick examples. The first one is they had the chief of staff of a U.S. senator who was picking up a luxury SUV. Um, they customized the uh, dashboard touchscreen. And I can't remember if this was a Republican or a Democrat, but it was the appropriate cartoon. It was either a Democrat stepping on an elephant, excuse me, a donkey stepping on an elephant, or an elephant stepping on a donkey. That's it. That's all they did. And, this chief of staff, she ate it up. She, posted it on social media. It went viral. People in DC are seeing it. So it worked, right? It worked. Second one, very touching story. A gentleman came in. He was, as I recall, he was the sort of like the full-time caregiver for his wife. And he was buying a truck, and he was going to take that truck up into the mountains when he had a moment to himself and just sort of sit and recharge in the mountains, just, let himself return back to zero and recharge a little bit. And all they did, this one cost money. It cost money. They bought a camo ball cap with their logo on it. That's what they did. Yeah. All of what, $20? And they had it sitting on the dashboard. And when he picked up the vehicle for delivery, they basically just said to him, hey, next time you're up in the mountains, don't forget about us. And the man was touched. He touched that they remembered, obviously. It's not like the hat was super special, but he teared up. And turns out he's a pastor, and he goes back and tells his whole congregation. You know, I mean, couldn't have asked for any better. But they did it to be kind, right? It wasn't a gimmick. They wanted to take care of the guy and show him that they were special, and he repeated that as such to his congregation. Third one, it makes me so mad because it's just so silly that I can't believe it worked. But it was two sisters, both had retired. They were trading in their vehicles to buy one together, and they were going to do a cross country trek as a vacation. They delivered the car from the sales floor, and they had some of the sales guys standing at the big doors to open them up when the ladies got in after delivery and started up the car. And the sales manager standing there, and he said something to the effect of, "Ladies, let your journey across the country begin." That's it. That was what they did to make it special. That's it. And of course, they loved it. Google reviews, perfect surveys. All the things that you'd want to see from that. So, for a total of zero plus $20 ish plus $0, they had three really nice experiences for customers that were completely personalized and caused a little bit of a wave, a ripple effect to go through. And again, you know, we could all be doing this, right? Like we could all be just intentional and trying to figure out what would be the thing that helps our customers recognize that we're special and treating them as special. That's it. I just I'm sure you're going to have a reaction to it, but I couldn't stop thinking about that after the sushi incident. Just thinking, we could all be doing this. Moses did it, right? So that's my story time.
The well, now that Ando is now a sushi incident. Yeah, yeah, it's become famous. We had to label it. The no, you make such a fantastic point, right? But you left out the hardest part of all this, right?
Mhm.
You'd have to all the people involved, all the customer service providers would have to do something wildly difficult.
Yes.
They would have to listen.
Yep. Yep.
I, I remember talking to a sales guy one time. He wasn't a very good sales guy. He's no longer a sales guy. Um, we were talking to him and he was upset because there was delay from when the person bought the car to when they went to finance, right? It's a very busy store.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know what to do with my customer while they're waiting. And the sales manager said, well, why don't you talk to them about some of the stuff you discovered when you initially were talking to them, trying to figure out which car they needed. And he looked at the
Got a
sales
feeling
manager.
I got a feeling I know where this story's going. Keep going, Mike. Yeah.
He looked at the sales manager and he said, well, I don't remember any of that stuff. And we're not talking days later.
Right.
We're not even talking morning to evening later. We're talking like in the course of an hour's conversation.
Yep.
What was said in the first hour of conversation, he doesn't remember in the end of that hour's conversation.
So true.
And, and so he was asking the questions.
Yep.
We live in the Midwest, right? As far as you and I go. So people will tell you everything,
Yep.
right? So they tell you all their stuff.
Yep.
He remembered none of it for even a second. And so the idea of referencing back to it,
Yeah.
going deeper into some aspect of something that they were doing or interested in or had going on in their lives, it just wasn't possible because he wasn't listening to what the
You know,
people were.
and this isn't limited to sales. It's not even limited to service industries. You might even say it's a national or perhaps a global issue right now, that we are so busy and going through the motions that we never stop to think about who's across the aisle from us. In the early days of my coaching training, they gave us, sort of a rubric that we could use, and several rubrics. One of them is the GROW model, which you and I train managers on how to use for coaching. And they have to really break you of the habit of running through the questions. Because your temptation, GROW is, goal, reality, options, way forward. What's your goal in this conversation? Oh, well, I think I want to lose weight. Uh-huh. What's the current reality that you're facing with it? No, no, no. Slow down, right? Oh, you want to lose weight? What's going on? What makes you want to lose weight? Well, and you start a conversation, right? Like a human being would, instead of running through all these transactional moments and checking boxes. And yeah, you're 100% right. It's all of this is about listening and treating the other person like a human being.
Oh yeah. Well, I think you take it up another notch when you become observational.
Yeah.
And so where you start
Proactive
looking, right,
interest.
right. Yeah, yeah. People are telling you
Yep.
through their clothing, their body language, their bumper stickers, their license plates, their like any number of things speak.
Yeah.
Uh, if you have the observational skills to look for them and then notice in them and then have the courage to say something. I noticed you have a dog blanket in the back of your car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. We have two corgis, and it just
Yep.
like sometimes that's all it takes, right? Just some sort of observation. I noticed you're wearing a U.S. Marine Corps pin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I served in the Corps, and it'll just take off. Um, CBS Sunday Morning 100 years ago did a segment on Mike the Mailman, no
Oh
relation.
yeah.
And yeah, Mike the Mailman, he worked at the Penn State University post office. And there was always a line at the post office, and people, they interviewed some of these kids, and these students said, I don't even need stamps. But I just want to visit with Mike for a minute because he makes me feel so much better. And his goal was, right, his saying was, uh, if you can't find something to compliment a person about it, if you can't find something to compliment a person on, you're just not looking hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so every person came in line, he'd compliment them on something, he'd reference something. There, one lady came in and he was like, "So how's your mom doing?" Apparently she'd come in previously, was sending a care package to her mom because she wasn't feeling well. Mike asked about it. They made him like the grand marshal of the homecoming parade. You know, like they they protested when the postmaster wanted him to take down some of his pictures and stuff that personalize how he personalized the office. They literally protested in front of the building. So here's somebody that what you think is like insanely transactional, and it's a government job.
Yep.
And they have a reputation that, of being impersonal, and he had completely turned the whole thing around just by observing, commenting, and complimenting.
So, couple thoughts on that. The first is imagine taking that listening up yet another notch, and this is something you do in coaching. They talk about level three listening. And level three listening is where you're paying attention to, wait a minute, let me think about context here and what is not being said, right? And imagine how powerful that is for uncovering not just customer objections, but like where they're truly dissatisfied and it's under the surface and you need to bring it to the surface. So, that we know that that customer is even more loyal once you uncover what that issue is and show them that you have taken effort to address it. So that's one thing. Another thing is I'm glad you brought up the government office. I have a client. I'm going to shout out clients all over the place today. Madison County Property Valuation Administrator Billy Ackerman and his office, the PVA team. They're awesome people. And let me show you how awesome they are. They get lots of compliments in town for being such a responsive government office. And why would that happen? Well, they do genuinely try to listen and help, and they help a lot of people who have no business being at the PVA. What happens is they're near a courthouse, and a lot of people wander in thinking that they're there for court, and they're in the wrong building. And so, what these folks will do is escort them all the way to the curb and take them all the way outside to the sidewalk to the curb and point out the building that they're supposed to be in so that they can get to where they're going. They will often have uh, prisoners who have recently been let out of the county jail who will wander in and say, do you know where I can make a phone call? I just got released, and they'll let them make a phone call. So,
Mm.
like that there's no profit motive there, right? It's like you kind of have to just be the kind of person who wants to listen and pay attention and do what's right by the people around you and make the connection. So,
Oh yeah. No, I love that, right? I love it when I stay at a hotel and you're trying to avoid the chains, and you ask the person at the hotel desk and say, "All right, so where's a good place to eat around here?" And they reach under the desk and they pull out a list of 10 restaurants. And what are you looking for? Well, this. All right, and then they'll circle one and go, this would be my pick for that.
yep,
You're like, this, right? They get that question a zillion times,
yep,
and to take that one additional step for somebody to type it up, somebody to run some copies,
yeah,
and just
they're
hand it
prepared for that moment.
yeah, and
Yeah,
you're like, this is so cool, So yeah, the amount of effort is minimal. The impact is substantial.
yeah. I think that's what I wanted to say was basically like, why not do this? Because it's going to cost so little compared to the payoff over time. And I think you pointed out, it costs so little, assuming that you have wired yourself to start listening and observing and paying attention to what's around you and respond accordingly. So, pretty short episode, but I thought it was worth sort of doubling down on that and saying everybody can do this. Churches can do this. Government offices can do this. Businesses can do this. There are so many opportunities. Doctors' offices can do this. It's just amazing.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And you know who else is amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Our announcer, Mr. Wolf. So we'll let him have the final word. Take it away, Mr. Wolf.
And that's a wrap. The musings of Mark and Mike. No rights reserved, etc. Feel free to share and discuss what you heard today. Even claim the ideas as your own. Who'd want to do that? See you next time on It Doesn't Take a Genius. Thanks.